4 food choices that greatly increase your diabetes risk. Hi everyone, Healthhannex TV, an online natural health platform where we look at the failed-proof concepts and guidelines of natural health to recover and maintain health, especially in the field of sexual dysfunctions, anti-aging, and fertility. You're welcome. Today, I will look at 4 food choices that greatly increase your diabetes risk. To start eating healthier today, keep an eye out for these 4 food groups that are known to increase the risk of type 2 diabetes. The food choices we make every day greatly influence our risk of developing type 2 diabetes. The power of food was revealed in a study of more than 20,000 people from the Netherlands, published earlier this year in the European Journal of Nutrition. It showed that a diet heavy in junk food, characterized by soft drinks, fries, and chips, increased the risk of type 2 diabetes by 70%. Diet is of primary importance, says Dr. Isaac Elias, medical director of Amitabha Medical Clinic in California, who was not involved with the study. If someone wants to reduce their risk of getting type 2 diabetes, dietary changes have to be a part of the strategy, together with exercise and stress management. To start eating better today, watch out for these 4 types of food that are known to increase the risk of type 2 diabetes. 1. Highly processed carbohydrates. Heavily processed carbohydrates, such as those made with white flour, white sugar, and white rice, are essentially whole foods stripped of important bran and fiber, as well as healthy vitamins and minerals. Calories devoid of nutrients, with high sugar content, are the primary offenders. As much as possible, these foods should be eliminated, such as white bread, pizza dough, pasta, pastries, white flour, white rice, sweet desserts, and many breakfast bowls of cereal. They digest quickly and their high glycemic index causes unhealthy spikes in blood sugar levels. They can also cause fluctuations in mood and energy and a buildup of fat, especially around your waistline. When you eat refined or simple carbs, your bloodstream is flooded with sugar, which triggers a surge of insulin to clear the sugar from your blood. All this insulin can leave you feeling hungry soon after a meal, often craving more sugary carbs. This can cause you to overeat, put on weight, and over time lead to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Diets high in refined carbs and sugar have also been linked to high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, hyperactivity, mood disorders, and even suicide in teenagers. According to a 2007 study in the Archives of Internal Medicine, a diet high in heavily processed carbohydrates increased the risk of type 2 diabetes by 21% in Chinese women, compared with those who ate a diet rich in whole foods. To reduce your risk, eliminate your intake of foods made with processed carbohydrates, such as bread, muffins, cakes, crackers, and pasta, etc., in favor of whole grain options. Refined carbs include mostly sugars and processed grains. They are empty calories and lead to rapid spikes in blood sugar and insulin levels. 2. Sugar-sweetened drinks. Sugar-sweetened beverages, SSB, are drinks with added sugar including non-diet soft drinks, sodas, flavored juice drinks, sports drinks, sweetened tea, coffee drinks, energy drinks, and electrolyte replacement drinks. The calories in sugar-sweetened beverages can contribute to weight gain and provide little to no nutritional value. Sugar-sweetened beverages do not fill you up the same way that food does. Those extra calories can lead to other health risks including obesity, tooth decay, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Sugary beverages like sodas, sweet teas, and lemonade are linked to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes, says Jill Weissenberger, MS, RD, CDE, and author of the book Diabetes Weight Loss, Week by Week, presumably because the excess calories led to weight gain and because the sugar load might increase insulin resistance. According to a 2010 study in Diabetes Care, drinking 1 to 2 sugary drinks per day increased the risk of type 2 diabetes by 26%, compared with having less than 1 serving a month. One of the best ways to minimize the effect of sugar on your health is to limit your intake of sugar-sweetened beverages, including packaged fruit drinks. To stay hydrated, drink more water. Also, avoid loading up your coffee or tea with sugar and cream. Better still, avoid coffee completely, take green tea instead. 3. Saturated and trans fats. Unhealthy saturated and trans fats can increase cholesterol levels in the blood, and high cholesterol is a risk factor for type 2 diabetes. Trans fat is also double trouble for your heart health. Trans fat increases your bad cholesterol and lowers your good cholesterol. Trans fat is considered the worst type of fat you can eat. Unlike other dietary fats, trans fat, also called trans fatty acids, raises your bad cholesterol and also lowers your good cholesterol. A diet laden with trans fat increases your risk of heart disease, the leading killer of adults. The more trans fat you eat, the greater your risk of heart and blood vessel disease. Trans fat is so unhealthy that the Food and Drug Administration has recently prohibited food manufacturers from adding the major source of artificial trans fat to foods and beverages. The FDA expects that this move will prevent thousands of heart attacks and deaths every year. But, as the regulation takes effect, some products with added trans fat may still be available. Here's some information about trans fat and how to avoid it. What is trans fat? Most trans fat is formed through an industrial process that adds hydrogen to vegetable oil, which causes the oil to become solid at room temperature. This partially hydrogenated oil is less likely to spoil, so foods made with it have a longer shelf life. Some restaurants use partially hydrogenated vegetable oil in their deep fryers because it doesn't have to be changed as often as do other oils. Trans fat in your food. The manufactured form of trans fat, known as partially hydrogenated oil, may be found in a variety of food products, including baked goods, such as cakes, cookies, and pies, shortening, microwave popcorn, frozen pizza, refrigerated dough, such as biscuits and rolls, fried foods, including French fries, donuts, and fried chicken, non-dairy coffee creamer, stick margarine. Trans fats appear in packaged baked goods and fried foods in restaurants, while saturated fats can also be found in fatty meats, butter, and full-fat milk and cheese. How trans fat harms you. Doctors worry about added trans fat because it increases the risk for heart attacks, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Trans fat also has an unhealthy effect on your cholesterol levels. There are two main types of cholesterol. Low-density lipoprotein, LDL, or bad cholesterol can build up in the walls of your arteries, making them hard and narrow. High-density lipoprotein, HDL, or good cholesterol picks up excess cholesterol and takes it back to your liver. Trans fat, as I said, increases your LDL cholesterol and decreases your HDL cholesterol. If the fatty deposits within your arteries tear or rupture, a blood clot may form and block blood flow to a part of your heart, causing a heart attack, or to a part of your brain, causing a stroke. How do you avoid saturated fats? Reading food labels. In the United States, if a food has less than 0.5 grams of trans fat in a serving, the food label can read 0 grams trans fat. Products made before the FDA ban of artificial trans fats may still be for sale, so check to see if a food's ingredient list says partially hydrogenated vegetable oil. If it does, that means the food contains some trans fat, even if the amount is below 0.5 grams. This hidden trans fat can add up quickly, especially if you eat several servings of multiple foods containing less than 0.5 grams a serving. How low should you go? Trans fat, particularly the manufactured variety found in partially hydrogenated vegetable oil, appears to have no known health benefit. Experts recommend keeping your intake of trans fat as low as possible. To avoid saturated fats, cook and bake with olive and canola oils, snack on nuts instead of sweets, choose lean meats and poultry without the skin, and dress salads with vinaigrette instead of blue cheese dressings. 4. Red and processed meats. Why processed meat is bad for you. Processed meat is generally considered unhealthy. It has been linked with diseases like cancer and heart disease in numerous studies. There is no doubt that processed meat contains many harmful chemicals that are not present in fresh meat. What is processed meat? Processed meat is meat that has been preserved by curing, salting, smoking, drying, or canning. Food products categorized as processed meat include sausages, hot dogs, salami, ham, cured bacon, salted and cured meat, corned beef, smoked meat, dried meat, beef jerky, canned meat. On the other hand, meat that has been frozen or undergone mechanical processing like cutting and slicing is still considered unprocessed. Red meat and processed red meat are both linked to type 2 diabetes. Processed meats like bacon, hot dogs, and deli meats are particularly bad because of their high levels of sodium and nitrites. In a 2011 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers found that 1 3-ounce serving per day of red meat, about the size of a deck of cards, increased the risk of type 2 diabetes by 19%. For an even smaller amount of processed red meat, the increase was 51%. Processed meat is linked with chronic disease. Eating processed meat is associated with an increased risk of many chronic diseases. These include high blood pressure, hypertension, heart disease, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, bowel and stomach cancer. Studies on processed meat consumption in humans are all observational in nature. They show that people who eat processed meat are more likely to get these diseases. Even so, the evidence is convincing because the links are strong and consistent. Additionally, all of this is supported by studies on animals. For example, studies in rats show that eating processed meat raises the risk of bowel cancer. One thing is clear: processed meat contains harmful chemical compounds that may increase the risk of chronic disease. Switching to other sources of protein can improve your health, says Elias. Wild Alaskan salmon, small fish such as sardines, small portions of organic poultry and eggs, and occasional grass-fed beef can all be incorporated into a healthy diet with a predominance of vegetables. That's it guys. I want to remind you very quickly that all the stuff we're saying here isn't really drugs. They're for information purposes, and it's best to check with your doctor before you go ahead and use any of these items. Often, don't forget to subscribe so that you will know when we have new videos, and then toggle on your alerts so that when new videos are loaded you will be automatically informed. And if you found this video helpful, please share the information with others so that they can benefit as well. Also, do me a favor, kindly leave your comments and questions below. Thanks so much for watching. Have a happy and healthy day. Remember, make your food your medicine, and your medicine, your food.